It's time now to give some recognition to our Special Appreciation Award winners. Pam Polk, Charlene Sharpe, and Chris Sharpe have kept the tradition of harness racing at the Pocomoke Fair alive. We spoke with Charlene about her love for the sport and all the hard work she and her family put into this special racing card. Charlene, how excited and honored were you and your mom and your husband about getting this award?
Well, we were really surprised to get the letter in the mail, but honestly, the fair is a lot of work, so I'm glad that people appreciate it and noticed. We put a lot of effort into it every year, and you might not realize that if you only come for the day, but there is a lot that goes on behind the scenes.
So talk about what everybody does. Your mom does so much. You do so much. Your husband's right in the mix. Your daughter, Ava, she's also part of it. It's definitely a family affair. So take us through what everybody does.
Well, my mom is the one who does most of the work. She's involved with the fair board and keeps everything. She keeps track of things throughout the year. And so when it gets close, she's the one who goes down and sets up the paddock, because we actually race out of like a big manure shed, and she has to set up the temporary stalls for the paddock stalls with like snow fence. So it's quite a bit, and puts up the numbers, race 1, number 1, that kind of thing. And some years there's, clutter and junk that needs to be cleared away, and then she also coordinates the volunteers for the day, like someone to drive the water truck, someone to drive the starting gate, someone to handle paperwork, that kind of thing. So she does a lot in the couple weeks leading up to the fair. And then I really just take the entries. I try to put something on social media and the USTA website about the fair coming up, and then I take the entries and I try the best I can to sort them into appropriate races, but we work with what we have, so maybe it's not as perfect as it could be, but we try our best. And then my husband Chris, he gets the food and cooks on the fair day, and then so that is sort of a nice touch, I think, that everybody can come and eat for free and hang out after the races. That's, just a small thing that is sort of, I think, helps with camaraderie and all that. And then this is the other thing that people always forget. After the fair, we have to turn in all the W-9s and the paperwork so that everyone can get their purse money, because that's another thing my mom does. She organizes and asks for the donations from various groups, and such as DSOA and Cloverleaf, groups like that. They give us donations so that we can have purses, because we're not just racing, we're racing for fun, but we try to have a purse of like $1,000 a race.
Wow. I also want to say that Charlene takes the winner circle pictures on top of everything else she does. And this beauty right here, this little princess, this harness racing princess, Ava, who is, of course, Charlene and Chris's daughter. Now, can you talk about what you do? Because you're right into the mix, right? You do a lot of stuff.
What I do is I help pass out the programs, and I pass out the kids' goodie bags.
One of the things about the fair is it's tradition. Like, it's so great, like with harness racing, when there still are fairs around. And I know that the Pocomoke Fair is Maryland, but there are so many of our guys here in Delaware that participate in the Pocomoke Fair, and it's a great experience.
It really is, and that's how we ended up getting involved with it. So when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, I drove my first horse at the Pocomoke Fair, and what makes the Pocomoke Fair great is that you don't have to be a real driver. You can just be someone who doesn't have your driver's license, but who's capable of, going behind the gate and training a horse. Like, I did that when I was like 17 years old, and it was so fun. And so anyway, that's how we ended up taking it over, because it was gonna sort of fall apart if somebody didn't take on the organization of it. And it's really neat, and it's where so many drivers have gotten their starts. Montrell drove there as a teenager. Corey Callahan even drove there, not as a teenager, but and it's so fun, and so many people, and you watch the different generations go through. Ryder Skinner drove there this year. it's so fun. Everyone that goes has a great time. We have people come from New Jersey, from Pennsylvania, from 3-4 hours away just to race that day, and it's not for the money.
Now, are you going to be driving at the Pocomoke Fair someday, do you think?
Yes.
All right, yes. I will definitely be there cheering you on. Thank you, Charlene, and thank you to your mom and to your husband, of course, to you, Ava. Thank you for keeping this tradition on.
We do the best we can.